Steve, come up here and read us some poems, please.
Guildford, how are you? If I sound a little bit croaky, I've spent 3 days shouting orders at people over very loud music, doing the day job, so apologies if my voice is a little bit not quite as robust as it would be normally. Possibly the first time, when I say possibly, I mean definitely the first time in my life I've ever been described in any way as being like, stroke not like, a Yorkshire Terrier before.
A drowned Yorkshire Terrier.
Thank you. Always something to revel in. Yeah, I've never been described as that. And someone recently described my poems, because I never know how to explain to people what I write. And someone described my poems as having a fragile optimism, which was a phrase that I thought, God, I wish I'd thought of that myself. But in that vein, this is a poem about hope. And this is a poem called The Girl Next Door. Today, the girl next door knows that something good is going to happen. I can hear her singing through the bathroom wall. I just know that something good is going to happen. Today, she isn't tired. She isn't angry. Today, bringing up a kid alone is something she can do. She feels it sure and certain and pure and true, because today, something good is going to happen. Today, the council will fix the sticking door, the bills will come and she'll have money set aside. And she can dream her boy will never be denied a job, because there will be jobs for all. And he'll be proud and strong and have all the things she never got to own. Because today she knows something good is going to happen. Today, under the grey skies, her sun is shining hot and bright and carrying a tune, and she is Wonder Woman, she is Supermom, she's a vixen, she's a vamp, she's a heartbreaker, who queues in the supermarket for reduced to clear, then dances home in the rain. Because today, something good is going to happen. Today she'll buy a scratch card, because she knows she's feeling lucky. She'll buy a packet of 10 and take 5 minutes out to spark one up and watch the world go by. She'll put on the old tunes from back in the day and smile to herself as she unlocks memories of lost nights, wild secrets, love that blazed. Because today, something good is going to happen. Today, none of the mistakes she's made will ever happen. None of the mistakes she's made will ever matter. She'll forgive herself, go out and make some more, because she's starting out with a clean slate. She will survive, she will thrive, she feels alive in a way she feared that she'd forgotten. And all those obstacles in her way, they're nothing she can't overcome. Because today, hope is blooming inside her, like flowers in the desert once the storm has gone. And she is singing because she knows, for a cast iron, solid gold, copper bottom certainty, that something good is going to happen today, or tomorrow, or sometime when she's all but given up believing. Something good, something undeniably, wonderfully good is going to happen. And I hear her singing through the bathroom wall. And I think, it already has, girl. It already has. Cheers. You may be able to detect, in among the croakiness, the remnants of a West Midlands accent. It's quite a strong accent, the West Mids one. And you have to put in a concerted effort in order to lose it, and I'm way too lazy to ever have bothered. So it's still more or less there. If I go home, it comes on a bit thicker, like. But then I come away and learn how to speak proper. And I know you're smart, clever, insightful people here in Guildford. And so you will recognise the West Midlands accent for what it is, which is a soft, gentle, lilting, possibly even seductive accent. And yet, somehow, whenever they do one of those polls about the regional accents of the country, we come bottom every single time. Apparently it's the most stupid, the most ugly, the least trustworthy accent in the country. Which is a little harsh, I feel, but there you go, we live with it, it's what we're known for. Crap accent, spaghetti junks and tick, that's the West Mids. And recently, however, that changed for a while, and it changed courtesy of an organisation called Fox News. Now, if you're not up to speed on Fox News, what they are, it's a small, liberal, underfunded news channel in the US. It's absolutely your first point of call for balanced, fair, objective reporting. But they had one morning where they got their security expert on, and they went completely, they just threw the script out the window really and made it up as they went along. He was talking about the dangers of Islam and the rise of Islam in Europe, and he suggested there were parts of cities where it was no longer safe for people to go. And above all, he told the watching millions on Fox News that Birmingham was now 100% Muslim. 100%. Which came as a bit of a shock. So I wrote this poem. And there's going to be some words in this poem that you may not recognise them. They're either place names in Birmingham, so like the Bullring, big shopping centre. Rackham's is the department store. Paradise Circus is basically a traffic island. So there's words like that you won't know. So there are either places in Birmingham or there's other words you won't know which are Arabic. Okay, places in Birmingham or Arabic. As far as Fox News is concerned, those are one and the same thing. Okay? But this is a poem called Fox News Fact. Fox News got an expert in to tell him about terror. He said he had some beans to spill and then he made this error, and if you ever needed evidence, his analysis is cracked. He told them Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. He's seen the Mecca bingo halls and put 2 and 2 together and come up with 5 or 49. He's really not that clever. He thinks Aston's twinned with Al-Qaeda in some global terror pact now that Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. He's sure the call to prayer in Rackham's rings out from New Street's minarets. The Hajj happens in the Bullring, where Hezbollah have just met with Ozzy and Black Sabbath about laying down some tracks now that Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. The jihadis hang out in the sunshine that fills Paradise Circus. There's camels at the bus stop. The pubs are wearing burqas. The city's motto, dead to infidels, has the pizzazz that forward lacked now that Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. We've Sharia law and Cadbury's. A land of dairy milk and honey. And if today the weather's shite, then tomorrow will be sunny. And Villa and the Blues, they're both best on the attack now that Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. The boats in Gas Street Basin, they're all learning the Quran. Chiltern Main Line runs from Moore Street to North Afghanistan. There's a fatwa on pork scratchings and the priests have all been sacked now that Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. If the Queen visits, she must grow a beard. A man must be her minder, and she must walk 5 steps behind one of the Peaky Blinders, and it's nice to have her over, but it's great when she goes back, because Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. Now, you may be thinking to yourselves, can this be so? Is Moseley full of mullahs and I didn't know? A caliphate of chips and peas? Can such a thing exist? Well, Fox News got an expert in. Would you really question this? Just sit back and gawp in horror at a world that's out of whack when he tells you Birmingham's gone Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. You see, Birmingham is Muslim. It's a Fox News fact. You know, Birmingham has gone Muslim. It's a Fox News, Fox News, Fox News, Fox News, Fox News, Fox News fact. Cheers. Right, well, thank you very much for inviting me to come and read my poems. I'm really enjoying being here, and I'm really looking forward to listening to some other fantastic acts who are going to be on after. But I'm going to leave you with this one. If you're the kind of people who like to buy books of poems, there's loads at the back. Some of them are mine. Just thought I'd mention it. But thanks for listening anyway. I'll leave you with this one. This is a poem. Myself and my partner were living very happily in a rented house until last October. And just before that, the landlady basically said, look, I want to sell the house because prices had gone through the roof, and she just, couldn't afford not to make a killing. And we discovered that, not only could we not afford to buy where we were living, but we couldn't really afford to rent where we were living. So we started having the kind of conversations that couples do in that situation about, what do we do now? Where do we go? What do we want? What are we after? What would we like? What can we afford? And I'm a partner, bless her. I think she felt that that conversation would be a useful process, a process that would move us along and come to a nice, neat, wrapped up, parcelled conclusion where we knew what we were doing. But she was with a poet. What she actually got was this, and this is a poem called You Ask Me Where I Want to Live, My Love. It could be the tundra, a desert, a forest, a boat, high on a mountain or out by the coast. An apartment, a terrace, a van or a castle, a tent, yurt or igloo, it really doesn't matter. But it must be somewhere where commuters stop and stand on their way home to marvel at another sunset and breathe for the first time that day, making a mental note to phone in sick in the morning, where the Daily Mail declares its compassion knows no borders, champions the rights of asylum seekers, elects a teenage single mum as editor, and proclaims the benefit system is the mark of a society not afraid to offer help to those in need. When she hears this news, Katie Hopkins looks like she's swallowed a wasp. Where politicians start speeches on British values by saying they spent yesterday watching the grace and beauty of swallows hunting over summer meadows, and they lost themselves in it for hours and the speech never got written. And sod it, it was worth it. And what is this nationalistic flag-waving bullshit anyway? And when we vote for them, they say, no thanks, we'll rather be watching the swallows. Why don't we crack on with sorting things out ourselves? We're more than capable of doing it without them. And it could be in a farmhouse, a mansion, an empty plot, a hot air balloon or a racing yacht off Lundy, Fastnet, German bike, Trafalgar, Dogger, Cromarty, yeah, all right, but it's got to be somewhere where we never forget we pass this way but once, and every day is another shot at redemption. Where the old and the weak and the dying are wheeled out each evening to feel the rain on their face in case they do not live to see the dawn, and each and every news bulletin starts with images of the miracle of birth to remind us what we're doing here. Where kids learn about homelessness and poverty in history books and ask, was slavery like dinosaurs, miss? And when the teacher asks them to imagine what it must have been like to bed down cold and hungry and alone, Year 9 find it so distressing she has to send them out into the playground to burn off their confusion. And over by the bike sheds, Sally gathers the others round and makes them swear that if ever the grown-ups invent a poverty again, they'll give them extra double maths from Mr. Jackson till they promise to behave, and then they'll get back to playing kiss chase and the playground rings with screams and laughter. And it could be in Leatherhead, Woking, or even Guildford Town, just a place with a bed where we can lay our heads down. It could be North East Norwich, it could be South West Ayr, it could be Hull, Halifax, I don't care. But it's got to be somewhere with a B-loud glade and a pub at hand where we drink by firelight, sit with friends, talking, laughing, making plans, and we're up every morning at dawn, walking through dew, watching the sun burn the mist off the gentle flowing river, or the rain hit the windows, or the snow fall. And all this won't even be the half of it. Because we'll be lying at night on grass under blankets, listening to cicadas, feeling moths brush against our faces, looking up at stars so numerous we can't begin to count them. And you explain the Big Bang Theory to me again. And I nod and say, in all the right places, but we both know I haven't a hope of getting my head around it. I just think it looks fucking fantastic. Where the world is filled with music and the symphony of silence for an audience of millions and an audience of one. Where Simon Cowell is on gardening leave, indefinitely. Where we will make love every day, in the morning, in the afternoon, whenever we bloody well want to. Make love with tenderness and with passion and with howling abandon and lie in the cooling sweat of each other's bodies and want for nothing more. And it could be in the tundra, a desert, a forest, a boat, high on a mountain or out by the coast, an apartment, a terrace, a van or a castle, a tent, yurt or igloo, it really doesn't matter. But it must, and you're right, I haven't mentioned house prices or the mortgage tracker index once, me love. And I haven't a clue whether the market is bubbling, booming or about to burst, but the truth is, every time I try, I I'll feel a little bit of me go belly up and die. And yeah, that isn't very grown up. And no, it probably isn't going to change. And all I can say in my defence is that with a handful of cable ties and a couple of rolls of gaffer and a modicum of judiciously applied brute force, I can fix pretty much anything. And in my world, that makes us quits. Because it's watching each other's backs and nurturing our abilities and covering our blind spots that makes us strong. And that has to count for something. And this is where I want to live, my love, with you. Growing old together, eating impossibilities for breakfast, with time passing so slowly we barely notice, in a world we love still more each passing day. And where, when they wheel us out into the soft, gentle rain of our last evening, the memories will jostle and tumble over each other like water. And when we close our eyes that night, we'll believe that we will wake next morning to do it all again. That we'll be laughing and dancing and dreaming.